Raider Nation, you guys got a Christmas gift early. Paul Guenther has been fired. Rod Marinelli will take over the defense. And what does that mean? Well, John Gruden says that he brings a new voice to the defense. He says that he's well respected in the locker room and that he should get these guys motivated. When asked about how is he going to do with 3 games left, looking at the playoffs, here's what John had to say.
He looks forward to adversity. You know, he thrives in it. I think he looks forward to these challenges, the building of this defense, putting it all together. And that's why we brought him here in the first place. It would certainly help if his soldiers got healthy up front.
And Raider Nation, don't get me wrong. I love it. I hope that it works. I'm excited about it. But also, doesn't it kind of remind you of this?
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding.
Hey man, if Rod Marinelli comes out and he's Bane, then great. But let's get into it. On to the Chargers.
Danny King, real talk.
What's up, Raider Nation? We're back, and obviously this is not the video that I like to make. I hate making videos after we lose, especially when we have so many injuries going into this week. Let's get into it. First and foremost, we've got 4 key players out this week. Damon Arnette is out. Nick Morrow is out. Cleveland Farrell is out. And Jonathan Abram is out. 3 of those 4 players have concussions. Farrell is nursing a shoulder injury, which he suffered in the Colts game. We'll be without those players. Another guy I didn't mention is not going to be in is Henry Ruggs. So whereas I know Raider fans say, well, we're going to miss Henry Ruggs' 3 catches a game. What you don't understand about Henry Ruggs is while he's not getting the catches in the game, he opens up the field. In lighter news, the Raiders have added Vic Beasley to the 53-man roster. He is now a member of the Raiders and not just in the practice squad being pulled up for him. Takk McKinley has been brought up from the injured reserve list. He will not play this week, but he will be playing next week, hopefully, versus the Dolphins. The Raiders needed the Browns to win on Monday night. You know, it seems like every year the Raiders have to rely on somebody else to get them to where they need to be. And start out, hey, second half of the season is the easy part. The first part's hard part. Raiders did really well the first part of the season. The second half of the season, the Raiders started to fall. They started to falter. They started to fall down. That's where it gets frustrating because you lose to teams like the Falcons. You nearly lose to teams like the Jets. You lose to the Colts in a game that you should have won. And then you start looking back on some other games. The Tampa Bay game, the Patriots game, the Buffalo game. All these games are games that the Raiders could have been in, should have been in. The Chiefs game, a game that the Raiders should have won if it wasn't for blown coverage and a stupid penalty on the final drive. The Raiders have to overcome these mistakes, and it's a conversation that we have week in, week out, year in, year out. And I think that that's where Raider fans start to see the frustration. Raider fans start to feel that frustration because nothing changes. The offense damn near has to be perfect. The offense has to put up at least 30 points a game in order for the Raiders to be competitive in these games. Looking at these games and looking ahead at these next 3 games, they are winnable games. They're going to be tough games, especially this Thursday night game and next Saturday's game. What the Raiders have on their side is the Raiders' record in primetime. The Raiders traditionally play well in primetime. The Raiders traditionally play well in primetime at home. And a game versus the Chargers and a game versus the Dolphins are both at home during primetime. The Raiders need to capitalize on this. Whereas, yes, they do need help from other teams, the Raiders do have an opportunity to still make the playoffs. And this is a playoff picture. The Raiders can make the playoffs if the Ravens lose one of the next 3 games. Now, they've got the Bengals, the Giants, and the Jaguars. Realistically, the Jaguars are not going to beat them. The Bengals are not going to beat them, but the Giants are a team that could beat them. They've beat the Seahawks this year. They've shown flashes of being good, and they could technically pull out a win against the Ravens. So we're hoping for that. But at the same time, the Raiders have to control their destiny, and they have to win the next 3 games. You can't lose one. If you lose one, you basically lost them all. You got to beat the Chargers. You got to beat the Broncos, and you got to beat the Dolphins. And it starts this Thursday. Now, this Charger team is a different Charger team than what we saw the first time we played. They've got Austin Eckler back. They've got Joey Bosa back. They've got some more firepower to go after it on both sides of the ball, and the Raiders have to be prepared. One good thing is Trent Brown is back. The offensive line looked a lot better last week with Trent Brown back out there. But the running game has to get better. And while we're talking about the running game, we're talking about things that need to get better. We're talking about this team. Let's get into what it's going to take to beat the Chargers on Thursday night. So first and foremost, the Raiders have to get back down to basics. The Raiders' running game has been terrible the past 3 weeks. The Raiders have not put up a 100-yard rushing game in the past 3 weeks, and it's shown. And a loss to the Falcons, and a close win to the Jets, and a loss to the Colts. The Raiders have not been able to run the ball well at all. The Raiders need to establish the run, and they need to establish the run early. Josh Jacobs has to have a big game against the Chargers. In games where Josh Jacobs has over 100 yards, in games where Josh Jacobs has a rushing touchdown, the Raiders are 8-1. The Raiders need to feed Jacobs and feed Jacobs early, and Jacobs needs to take advantage of those opportunities. It's not going to be easy. The Chargers' defensive line is good, especially when you have Bosa back. But with Trent Brown back, with Gabe Jackson at full strength, with Rodney Hudson, Denzel Good, and Colton Miller leading the way, the Raiders' offensive line needs to dominate up front and help for running back push. Nelson Aguilar has been a favorite target of Derek Carr. He will obviously get his targets. Hunter Renfrow has had success against the Chargers in the past. He's going to need to get his targets. And the Chargers have had a hard time defending the tight ends. Darren Waller and Foster Moreau need to have big games this week. Defensively is the biggest key. And it's always the biggest key. First and foremost, you got to get after the quarterback. With Rod Marinelli taking over the defense, I want to see what he said will be a more simplified approach.
But I think everything I look at right now for us in a short week is what we do well. Not so much the opponent. Okay, I respect them, all that. But we got to make sure we know what we're doing, how we execute, how we work together, how we tackle, how we strip the ball. That's a ton of stuff to do. And so it's not so much the opponent. I want to approach it as us, what we do well. And then can we do it for 4 quarters, which I know we can.
Get to the ball. Strip the ball. Force turnovers. The Raiders haven't done a good job of any of those things this whole season. And so if they can go out there this week, focus on the fundamentals. Focus on the little things that make things work. Get to the ball. Take pursuit angles. Get to the quarterback. Then the Raiders can have some success. Look, man, we're still in this. Raider Nation, we are still in it. I know you guys are frustrated. I know you guys are throwing in the towel. I know you guys are ready to give up. But this is what we do, Raider Nation. It's torture. We are all used to this. At least we're still talking about playoffs, man. I know it's rough. So let's just go out there, show the Chargers who still runs LA, even though we're sitting in Las Vegas, and let's get this win on Thursday. Y'all still here? What are you waiting for? Video's done. I said everything I needed to say. Go. Go home. All right, well, anyway, since you guys aren't leaving, let me just leave you guys with this. Chargers fans, I hate y'all. All 4 y'all. There used to be more, but Phillip Rivers took his 5,000 kids to Indianapolis, so they became Colts fans. Some of you guys got left in San Diego. But come on, man, you guys are a team out there wearing powder blue and piss-stained pants. Your social media team's out there making pictures of Pop-Tarts, claiming that that's what football teams look like. Giving away ice coolers for celebrations of games that you lost. I mean, come on, dude. Even your number 1 receiver has been seen in a Raider hat drinking In-N-Out. Yeah, you're welcome for Lance Allworth. You're welcome for Al Davis helping your franchise a little bit, but at the end of the day, we've owned you guys. We've overrun your stadium. We've run over your team. So Charger fans, while you guys are crying under your fake profiles on Twitter, spamming my comment section, do me a favor. Go look at your trophy case because it's as empty as your stands. I hate y'all.